You can't just have swimming, swimming, swimming all the time. Like, what if swimming, la qadarullah, something happened, it's not there
Absolutely.
anymore? What are you gonna fall back on?
So you're very much a role model now. You know that. And I want to know that comes with pressure and that comes with responsibility, maybe.
Yeah.
Some you might consider it that way. What does it mean to you to be a role model?
I think like definitely it's an honor for sure. And I take a lot of pride in it. And I think like I know sometimes it could add a lot of pressure and responsibility, but I try to take it as like a motivation. So like being a role model, not necessarily just as a fast swimmer or like a champ,
Sure.
but I think like for me it's very, very important to show that you can be an all around
Yeah.
person, like a good person, obviously, like just a social, like having a social life is also
Yeah.
important, like very good academics, like being a good swimmer. And I just think like being a good person all around is something that I strive to, like for the younger generation to see that not only like you're a champ, but you can also be other things
Yeah.
at the same time. And I think that that one motivates me, like anything I want to do next, or like that, like motivation is like, it gives me that fire to like helps me keep going.
Yeah, everything you said definitely is for sure. But I think the extra layer is that you're a woman
Yeah,
and you're not doing any kind of sport. You're doing a
of
sport that
course.
is, by people would consider you're dressed revealingly.
Yeah.
Um, it's exciting as a young. If I was a young girl now and watching you, I would think that anything is possible. And whereas before things would have been closed off here,
Yeah.
now they're not. How has that been for you? Have you had little girls come to you and be really excited?
Yeah, of course. I think like it was definitely hard because like
Yeah.
at the beginning of my career, like I used to get affected about, social media comments of like, you're wearing a swimsuit, like how are you
Yeah.
still doing this? Why
Yeah.
are you choosing this sport? And I think like in the beginning it definitely affected me because I didn't really understand that mentality. But I think for me, I decided to like focus on what's important. Like my swimsuit is like like a football player, that's like his ball.
It's like your identity almost,
Yeah,
right?
and I just think like focusing on what's not important is gonna keep draining me. And
Yeah.
like this is where I start to like protect my energy and
Sure.
protect my
Yeah.
peace. So just like it was definitely hard because I had to learn the hard way because I was like the first one to do a lot of things. So like I pretty much learned as I went. So hopefully after like doing that path for the people behind me, for the swimmers behind me, like even the athletes, just to like have an easier path.
Yeah. And so to give me an example, you've had some kids come up to you. What has been their reaction?
I think it's definitely excitement, and I think I really enjoy that because sometimes genuinely, like I forget, and I think like when I get that reaction, I like get that reassurance and like excitement of like, okay, I need to keep going
Yeah.
for them. And honestly, everything I do, yes, the medals are great, yes, like the records are great, but I think like the legacy behind you is what is most important. It's
Yeah.
like what you leave behind for the people to follow.
Yeah.
And I think this is what I want to do for the younger generation, just like the development of the sport.
So what is the average lifespan of a professional swimmer? Yeah. What is the age that you kind of feel, I think I need to be starting a phase 2 career here?
I think like honestly, it definitely changes.
Yeah.
Like every generation is different, but I think like right now, like definitely I would say 31, 32 is the max for a female swimmer. I think men is definitely just maybe a little longer. But I think like only 31, 32 because like people want to like get married and have
Sure.
babies. They can still come back after like giving birth, but I
Yeah.
just think like this is where the age is like, okay, maybe I need to start
Yeah.
thinking about like something
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
after swimming.
Yeah. And I know that you've got something called the academy that you're trying to develop.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I think like I said before, like I want to do something with the development of the sport, like even with the younger generation, just giving them like the full system that I lacked growing up and the support and the resources. So like I want to do something like that for like the younger generation, the younger swimmers, like girl or boy, to like grow up and become on the elite
And by
level.
that, do you mean you want to try and build out a kind of an American style team building
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, literally like I said, like the full system. So I
Yeah,
think here we're lacking like the sports psychology, the nutrition, the recovery side of the sport, just like a lot of things like little details that
yeah.
help in the overall performance that I think if we encourage it at a younger age, it will definitely make a difference
And would you
later.
do that for swimming, or would you make it a larger experience for all sport?
I think for sure starting with swimming
Yeah,
because that's like my expertise, but like sports psychology, I think, and like nutrition, like recovery, like all these things, like are covering all sports pretty much. But I think starting with swimming would be important just to like have my,
hmm,
like say and experience in
yeah.
that decision.
And have you started to develop this idea?
I did for
Yeah.
sure. Like we're still in the works, but I think like we're definitely in the right track to do something like
I
that.
think it's super exciting and very
Yeah.
needed, as you said.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of countries around the world, each sport has its kind of ecosystem. So
Yeah.
you're trying to develop the ecosystem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Just like having the right mindset and mentality towards the sport. And like some people choosing to become professional swimmers is okay. Like even when it comes to like sports management, like I think I was the first one or the first Egyptian swimmer to like tackle that issue. And I think just like everything I learned throughout my journey, I want to like bring back
Mm.
and do the same for the younger
Are there
ones.
sports management companies in Egypt?
Yeah, they are. It's like
That's
sadly, yeah,
sandy.
yeah. So like timeout management, like we've been together since 2017, and this is when I first
Yeah.
turned pro and
Yeah.
like started doing that. So like sports marketing, sports management, I think like is really important because the athlete at the end of the day needs to focus on their training and training alone. Like just like this is like their main focus. So and leave everything else to the other people to
Yeah.
help you and support you.
I like very much this idea of this holistic approach that the athlete is being given all the tools,
Yeah.
um, because the old fashioned way of pressure, pressure, pressure,
Hmm.
you burn out and then you don't get the best out of the athlete.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
exactly.
sense anymore, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, to have a life outside of it,
Yeah.
to be able to somehow try and
Transition.
have that, even as a younger person,
Yeah.
when you're within it at the age of 16, 17, have that ability to, you want to go out tonight? Go out
Go
tonight,
on, yeah.
have
And
that.
this is like sometimes growing up, like coaches would not understand like that with my parents. And I think my parents did a very good job at like focusing also on having a social life.
Yeah,
Because like you can't just have swimming, swimming, swimming all the time. Like, what if swimming, look at the law, something happened, it's not there
absolutely.
anymore? What are you
Absolutely.
gonna fall back on?
Absolutely.
It's like you build yourself as a
Yeah.
person and
Yeah.
not a swimmer.
Yeah.